Did a government agency secretly launch a crypto marketplace? And does their logo have a secret meaning? This is Around the Blockchain. All right, everybody, we're going to be talking about RFK. Does he have Bitcoin? Also, we're going to talk about Arkham. Is this secretly an FBI, CIA front? And last but not least, we're going to be looking at the new NFT show by Community and Rick and Morty founder Dan Harmon. Really good stuff. But make sure you hit that like button. We got 3 fantastic guests. We're going to go ahead right into it. On the bottom left, I couldn't tell if you're blended into the background there. It is Tim Warren. Tim, are you coming from the TA cave there?
I'm coming from the room right next to you, DZ. So if I don't win tonight, I will full-fledged just run and tackle you at the end of the show.
All right.
With proper form. No, I'm in my office. I'm usually in the basement. Right. This is my office, everybody. So it's,
I want a clean Goldberg spear from you. Okay. Also,
think of water boy tackle like you just made fun
Bobby
of my
Boucher.
Mom.
Okay.
Yeah, if you just made fun of my mom and I'm Bobby Boucher, that's what we're picturing here.
All right. Well, our next guest, don't you tell him what an Mbluda oblongata, Mbula. I don't even know how to say it at this point. Crypto Taco. The taco's in the background. It is Tuesday. Are you going to have tacos? Medulla.
Oh, you know it,
Medulla.
man.
It's Medulla. I knew that.
Medulla oblongata. You got this. Yeah, I'm chilling in my taco truck. I got them frying up in the back. And right after I win this episode, you know, it's Taco
I like
Tuesday.
the confidence. I like the confidence. He's getting a point for that confidence, folks. And then last but not least, we have Evan Aldo. It's ready from a secret location, maybe near Crypto Taco's old stomping grounds. Evan, how goes it?
Doing well, visiting some family up in Connecticut. So just busted the secret, but happy to be on.
All right, always a good time. Well, let's get right into Arkham and their denial. They're saying, hey, look, guys, we have nothing to do with the government agency. Well, I was looking at their logo. I don't know if you have that picture pulled up or able to pull it up. All right, I might try to pull it, but their logo is literally an upside down pentagon there. But they're in hot water after launching a marketplace, not for NFTs, not for crypto, but for on-chain data about individual people in wallets. That's right. They want to trade data linked to crypto wallets. Tons of privacy concerns and accusations of government-linked agencies going on here, which Arkham has denied. They touted the rollout of the exchanges. Look, this is just the first on-chain intelligence exchange that just lets users, buy and sell user information tied to any wallet through a smart contract. Critics, they have a couple cool names for it. Doxing, snitching as a service. I like that one. And dox to earn. We got moved to earn. Hey, why not dox to earn? They will have an ICO. There's going to be a coin a component later. I think they have 1 billion tokens. They're launching at a nickel. We'll see what the market ends up doing there. But yeah, there's the logo. That is their real logo, folks. That is their real logo on the right. Asterisk. We did have to flip it 180 degrees. It's upside down, but yeah, actual logo, folks. But guys, it is not a government agency that is looking to obtain all this personal information, according to Arkham there. But Arkham, now, Tim, Arkham's just saying, look, this is just transparency about the market makers. They're not looking at DZ's wallet. They're not looking at Tim's wallet. They're looking at Coinbase Exchange wallet. They're looking at Whale wallets. They're looking at Vitalik's best friends from the anime convention. Those are the wallets they're looking at. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? What do you think?
Well, yeah. I mean, first of all, it's Arkham. Isn't that where all the villains from Batman come from?
Yes.
That's clue number 1 that we should be watching out for them. There's some chaos over there. Also, normally, and this just is a normal thing when you deny, when you're clearly selling information and then you deny that you're working with the government. If you find yourself in a position where you have to deny working with the government, more often than not, you're working with the government. So not liking what I'm seeing over here. It does beg the question when we get in here about information. I mean, it's blockchain technology. So some stuff is, if you can dox them, you can track that information already. The question would be, is an ethical thing for larger companies like Coinbase or things for us to know where they're moving money? And I think the answer is yes. I think it would be good for us to know where at least public trading companies are moving their money around via cryptocurrency. The question I have in my mind, I was discussing this with Johnny before the show. I don't know where that line would be, though, because clearly I think it's a violation of privacy for them to go after individuals like you or me, DZ. But then you start to get into like, all right, so what size business? Does it have to be public? Is it, are there certain private businesses that are really large that we should know what they're doing as well to help prevent them from manipulating the market? The end point here is I'm not really sure what we're supposed to do, but there's going to be good and bad no matter what happens here when it comes to doxing and knowing what companies are doing with their crypto. The positives would be if we knew, we can know when manipulative moves are happening. The downside is, where did we draw that line at going after people's privacy? That's going to be a question we have to answer on this future journey if we end up publicly knowing what these companies and businesses are doing with their crypto.
And to Arkham's credit, they say, you can't sell addresses, you can't sell social security numbers, but there is a lot of data that they are going to be selling back and forth. Tim, you brought up, how are they saying, hey guys, we're not. I actually pulled up, this is their real press release. This isn't fake. This isn't some scam website. Is Arkham the CIA, the FBI, the feds, etc.? No, Arkham is not secretly a government project. We are not affiliated with government agencies. Taco kind of reminds me of the Hex website. You might know kind of what I'm referring to, or they actually have a question on the Hex website. Is Hex a Ponzi? They've taken it down. I think it's been down for 6 months, but a lot of people are pointing to that 2020, 2021. Well, Arkham, they very clearly state we are not a government agency. Should we take that press release at face value? Do you believe them?
I think time will tell if they actually are a government agency, but there's a bunch of signs that lead to it being some kind of backing, some kind of incorporation with a government agency. I mean, they're trying to dox people's addresses. They're trying to go after like hedge funds, exchange accounts. They say they're not going to go after like private accounts, but I mean, with all of this data being like transparent, it's a slippery slope when you're giving one company the power to pretty much be the source or the centralized source of saying, yeah, this is actually that person. And they moved, 5,000 ETH off of a bridge. They hacked the bridge. So, I mean, there is good, there is bad. I think time will tell, but I mean, just the logo, the way they're already saying, no, we're not the government. It's kind of scary.
Well, what are your thoughts on the logo? Was that a coincidence? Was that on purpose? Just if you just had a guess. Obviously, we're trying to mind read here.
I mean, I think it was definitely purposeful. Why would you make it a 180 flip of the Pentagon? And so I mean, it just all the signs are there.
All right, Crypto Taco, was that a plane or I'm just joking. We're not going to go there. We're not going there. Calm down, YouTube regulators. Chill. Evan, last question here. We could talk about, you could answer as far as the marketplace goes or the coin goes, just whatever you would like. Evan, Aldo, any predictions on the launch?
Oh man, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's being launched now. We're in that accumulation year, similar to 2015, similar to 2019. It's all a venture capitalism type thing with that coin. I mean, if you were to buy 10 to 20, promising projects such as that one, which in an environment like this, there's a good shot that some of them will do very well, maybe even 1,000x, 100x. Those crazy numbers like that. Some of them obviously will go to zero. It's kind of that type of technique where it's a venture capitalism technique like that. A lot of stuff is coming out right now. What I would say in terms of the security aspects, all of that type of stuff, is it kind of gives me vibes similar to what you could do with kind of background checks, where you could order online, pay money to view someone's background check. Have they ever had any issues with the law, their parking tickets? You could DUI, a lot of stuff you could figure out like that for a fee. So I think there's definitely going to be a place in the fundamentals in terms of crypto in that. Also, I mean, obviously crypto, the blockchain, the public ledger, it's not perfect, but there's a lot of, that's the way it was designed to be. So, people could view what's happening. And, whether it's a government agency or not, it depends on how you define government agency, like how you kind of look at it. And I mean, at the end of the day, obviously the government could subpoena anybody and get search warrants and try to find information if they believe you have data that could be, very relevant to a criminal case. So whether they're a private company or not, it doesn't really matter at that point. The government has a lot of, intelligence, and, a lot of people working to find information such as this. So that's what we're looking at there. But I don't think it's ultimately, back to what Tim was saying, he was kind of not completely sure, how far it could go. I don't think, I think ultimately it's going to be more of a benefit than a negative for the average person, because we're going to see what a lot of big entities, hopefully, they'll probably find a way around it, but we'll see what a lot of big whales and entities are doing. So maybe it could be good where it's less manipulation, and maybe it also could protect people in certain ways. So I think it could be good.
All right, a couple things. For what it's worth, over a year ago, I heard from there's big data collection companies. They know Social Security numbers tied to MetaMasks if you pay for it. If there's a will, there's a way. They could pay enough money by literally going through Consensus's data and tracking IPs, and then using that IP to get personal information, and then that personal information, then you can buy a Social Security number there. But that's what I heard over a year ago. Very smart, very wealthy individual. I spoke to him. He was the leader of that company. So I'm not going to say the company's name, but apparently, none of this is new, folks. They have all that info. Two things.
Yeah, I wanted to add something to that.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So when you're getting crypto nowadays,
screaming at us.
99 times out of 100, I'm sorry, 90 times out of 100, it's KYC. Pretty much the only way to get non-KYC crypto nowadays is to mine it yourself.
Mine it. Yep.
Yeah. So
Taco, quick follow-up from a super sub, though, not to cut you off. Crypto Bailey, this is a more important question. I'm sorry. What kind of herbs did you choose to put on your tacos, bro?
Well, take a look.
Okay.
It's you got steak right there, you got the sour cream, you got the pico de gallo, obviously some cheese.
Pico de gallo, no onions. And then +1 for Evan. Evan, 1,000% going to short it the first day. I don't know. We'll see. Evan, you got to let us know, though. All right, let's move on and let's talk about the jacked presidential candidate, like the back flipping push-up. I think he can do like 8 of them, 115-pound pumping presidential candidate. Well, it looks like he is, not only is he flip-flopped off the back of a boat, he is flip-flopping on Bitcoin, potentially, because he was at Bitcoin Miami, where he stated, "I am not an investor and I'm not here to give investment advice." But then on June 30th, he has a quarterly financial disclosure report that they have to do. On June 30th, he disclosed, no, we have bought some Bitcoin between $100,000 and $250,000 worth. So we don't know, roughly look at it this way, from 3 Bitcoin to roughly 8 Bitcoin. So he has 3 to 8 Bitcoin roughly here. Kennedy's nonprofit also accepts loads of crypto and has for years. Kennedy did say at a conference, quote, "If he were to become president, he would make sure that your right to hold and use Bitcoin is inviolable." So he is a stand for Bitcoin, it appears. Now, Tim, kind of want, let's just step away from this. Let's just really sum this up. Is it that big a deal if the president owns 1 Bitcoin? Does that change his policy decision-making if he owns 1 Bitcoin?
Does it change his policy decision-making? Maybe not, but I honestly, if he wins presidency and one of his kind of platforms was his pro-Bitcoin stance and he kind of rallied the troops, you kind of want that kind of president to own Bitcoin. To be real with you, though, let's just say on the higher end, 7 Bitcoin, that's not that much Bitcoin. So when people are complaining and saying he might possibly lied, it's a pretty realistic expectation that he was telling the truth. When he went to Bitcoin conference and didn't own any, he realized, oh, that's kind of dumb that I'm sitting here as a very pro-Bitcoin candidate and I don't own any. Let me go buy 7 Bitcoin for $250,000. I'm imagining that's chump change for Kennedy. I'm imagining he's going to own more. And honestly, there was something that was said last year at Bitcoin conference by Jordan Peterson. He said you have to actually own Bitcoin to figure out what's going on there, because until you're financially involved and you're going to gain or lose and emotionally involved with what's happening, it doesn't really pull at your heartstrings to know what's happening. So I actually think it is a plus for Kennedy to be owning Bitcoin. So he really is a part of this emotional roller coaster the rest of us are on, rather than him trying to be pro or anybody else being anti, but they don't even own anything. So they don't even know what it's like to be in the same boat as a Bitcoin holder. I don't know why people are complaining about this whole story. All of it's pretty meh, but if you ask me, do I want my president to own Bitcoin? Heck yeah, I do. Because that means they understand the same things I understand. And that gives him more incentive to defend its freedom.
All right, and I just want to pull up his website. Since at least 2021, they have accepted cryptocurrency with his nonprofit, Children's Health Defense. This is why I wanted to show you can cryptocurrency. You can see a donation. Oh, okay. What do you take? Like just Bitcoin? Maybe he takes Tether or Ethereum. Look at the number of cryptos that this nonprofit takes. 1 inch, Cube, Filecoin. I mean, Frax shares, Quant, Sheeb. They'll take Sheeb, folks. SLP Sweet Love Potion. They got Axie Infinity Game Currency. I was just surprised when I saw all the different currencies that he got a base.
He's a degen.
He's a degen. Yeah, he's like 50xing long these coins, probably. Evan, well, let's talk about that and his maybe degen tendencies here. What do you think of his purchase point? He bought, presumably, it had to be after the conference, before June 30th. Let's just say he bought around the middle of June. Historically speaking, I mean, was that a good time? I mean, is he going to be in the red for a long time? Is he going to be in the green real closely? What do you think of his 7 or so Bitcoin purchase at that price?
I think it's a very, very good place. And if history repeats itself, if we repeat the 4-year cycle, it's an excellent place. And I'll show you exactly why right now. Just look at this chart right here with my prediction, kind of, what I think. Take this with a grain of salt. I don't know if it's going to happen like this, but what I want to show you guys on the 2-week is look at how we're in the red right here on the 2-week. Look at this area where when we were in the red in the 2-week back in 2019 and 2020, which was an excellent place to get in. I mean, if you got in at 8,000 there, perfect place to get in. You'd still be well ahead. Also going way back to the previous bear market in 2015 when we were in the red on the 2-week here on Market Cipher B. Also an excellent place to get in. So as long as he's willing to hold it, probably let's say until 2025 over here, it could be a very good investment. In terms of him, accepting all these, very esoteric, weird altcoins, I would have a feeling it's probably just the platform he's using to accept them. I think he's just converting them probably over to Bitcoin or over to US dollars. I don't think somebody who, like, to put it in perspective, he's worth $50 million. He owns, let's say, a couple $100,000 worth of Bitcoin. That's like being worth $100,000 in terms of owning $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. So it's a pretty small percentage of his net worth, unless there's something that we don't know here. I don't think he's going to be gambling on a bunch of altcoins. I think he's just getting into Bitcoin. I don't think he's probably the most, tech savvy person where he even understands what all these esoteric altcoins are doing. So I wouldn't get too excited over altcoins over this, but I think it's very good for Bitcoin.
Yeah, and if I had to guess, he probably immediately converts into a stable coin or just into fiat, because otherwise he's going to have to do tax. Oh, I got the Aave at this, and then Aave pumped, and then I sold. So probably just immediately converts if I had to guess there. All right, well, Crypto Taco, I want to ask, does this even matter as far as retail goes? Is the president potentially owning some Bitcoin enough to get people to, maybe quit playing both sides of the fence? Is that going to get someone to flip-flop just like he flip-flopped? Will Taco's parents say, well, if the president buys Bitcoin, I guess we can buy one?
Yeah, I actually was going to bring up my parents. I think a standing president of the United States advocating and owning Bitcoin, I think that's huge. I think that shows that he has faith in the Bitcoin network, and he sees it as a store of value. And, if he's buying it, maybe my parents will not look at me so weird as someone who works in crypto. So, yeah, I feel like, standing president, if he is elected president, that would be amazing. And retail would probably start buying.
Quick follow-up. What do your parents probably, if you had to guess, what do your parents tell their friends that their son does?
Oh, he works for YouTube.
Okay. I guess that's kind of right. All right. 2 points for YouTube there. All right. Well, let's talk about Fox's new show, NFT powered show. I think we can share this graphic. Yeah, there's no nudity here. NFT powered Dan Howerman series, Crapopolis, finally gets its premiere date. If you kind of want to look at the art style there, I'm going to pull up the rarest NFT from the collection later. So you're going to want to stick around from that. That's right. I'm pulling up the rarest crap chicken. I think it's what it's called. No, Crapopolis crap chicken. Let me get that right. But he's the Rick and Morty co-creator. He also created Community, a little fun community college show if you ever watch that. But they have an NFT powered animated series that's been greenlit for 3 seasons by Fox. Has already generated over $1 million in NFT sales. Fox first announced this back in the spring of 2021. A little more bullish back then. You could probably tell by what they invested in the company behind this. $100 million. This is Blockchain Creative Labs. It's Fox Entertainment's spinoff NFT division. They put $100 million in that before a single season or single episode had aired, rather. But if you do hold the NFT today, there's a couple benefits. It looks like you go get behind the scenes animated clips from the website if you link your wallet. And then the chicken holders, the crap chicken holders, be able to attend in-person events, vote on the show's direction. Hey, let's kill the main character off. And also you could use eggs generated by the NFTs to buy some merchandise. Maybe buy a hat, socks, t-shirt, that type of thing there. So I'll pull up the NFT in a little bit, but I don't want to ask Taco. Taco, you know NFTs. Evan, I'm going to ask you. I do like Rick and Morty. I like Community. I like NFTs. I went to VCon. I'm looking at the price right now. I think they're only they're like 0.08. Not that much. You're looking around $200. Should I buy one of these NFTs?
Probably, but you don't want to be the person in 2 years who's at the Thanksgiving table with your family and you're going to say, I could have put all this money into Ethereum and Bitcoin a few years ago and been a millionaire, but instead I bought all these crap chickens, and unfortunately the show didn't do too well, and now they're all at zero, and I'm broke. So you don't want to be that guy. There's a lot of people releasing NFTs right now. I mean, this is dependent on how the show does. Most likely, I think there's a pretty good future. It's kind of like, buying a promising altcoin to a certain extent. Some of them will do well. Some shows and businesses, have bad things happen. Maybe the show just isn't good and a lot of people don't like it and it gets canceled right away. Then what's going to happen to your NFT? Probably going to end up at nothing. So small amounts, for a small amount to buy one of those, sure. Yeah, I think it's a really good gamble. I mean, I wouldn't just buy one of those. I think it's kind of, I can't believe I'm comparing, venture capitalism to investing in these, random NFTs like that for TV shows. It's kind of crazy, the time we're in right now. But, if you bought five or 10 newer NFTs, the Guy Ferrari ones are promising too. The Dinans, that one too.
Flavor Town.
So moving some money around a few of those, I think you got a good shot, long term. Just don't be the guy who puts all your money in this. And then when you could have bought Bitcoin and Ethereum and became, did very well, it's all your money in this, then you're at the dinner table with your family. Oh man, now I'm broke because I bought all these crap chickens.
Yeah, but it's worth 0.02 in Ethereum. And now that is, Okay, well, I'll pull it up. This is the Ultimate Crapper. This is the actual name. This isn't the name that I gave it. That's the name I have after Taco Bell or dairy. No, this is it right here. I too was expecting more. I don't know if you were expecting more, but I mean, there's a glowing worm in his hand. He has wings on his ankles. I guess it looks rare. I don't know. Now, Taco, 2 questions. One, does it look rare? Second, the launch price was 0.18 ETH. Looks like the floor price right now, 0.08 ETH. Would you consider this a failed project?
To answer your first question, yeah, that's the rarest crab chicken I've ever seen in my life. And to answer your second question, I'm gonna take the opposite stance because there was a project that was created by Fox, the animation legend Julius Prite, which was a Simpsons and Family Guy artist. They came out with a project Lunatics. I bought one of those NFTs, and they haven't launched the series yet, and the NFT is way under mint price. So when it comes to these NFTs that are going to be based on like cartoon TV series, I think if Rick and Morty, the actual Rick and Morty cartoon, if they made those into NFTs, they have a humongous fan base. People all around the world, NFT degens or not, they know about that show. That would have been probably more successful than a project that hasn't launched yet. They raised money off of a mint. The floor price fell, and it's almost like you're hoping for the show to be popular. You're hoping for people to watch it, and I mean, it's good that they have 3 seasons in the works, but I'm just going to go off of history. And the last project that Fox got behind really didn't do too well. The main pull with this NFT project is Dan Harmon, the actual creator of Rick and Morty. So you're kind of betting on him to be the flagship kind of guy behind this project. And if he doesn't keep up with the utility behind it, I could just see these things trending towards zero.
Yeah,
and another thing
or go ahead.
Another thing I noticed was I couldn't find how many like actual mints there were supposed to be. Usually it's like a 1,000 mint collection. They only minted like 3,600. And they didn't, on their website, there was nothing that says like, this is out of 10,000. So I went onto their website, I connected my wallet, and I tried to mint one. I couldn't. So I wonder, like, that's such a random number, 3,664.
3662 or something like that. 3662.
Yeah. So it makes me believe that, the people that got them for free, they just dumped them. Then they had like another round of 50% off, then 25% off, and then public mint. So that whole model is terrible in NFTs. That's just the early people dump on the public. So a few things I don't like, and I know the art. I mean, whoopee doo. I mean, crap chicken.
Yeah, I will add one. I'll add one final wrinkle. Dan Harmon publicly and famously was an alcoholic. I don't know if he still is, but if he is, work ethic might not. I don't know if he's got that Web 300-hour grind mode activated. So I don't know. That being said, they're only 0.08. Honestly, I'll probably buy one if they go low. All right, Tim. Final question here. Fun question. Is there any IP Tim wants to see turned into an NFT for this purpose? And the purpose I'm referring to is, it looks like you could vote on the show's direction. My mind just goes into all these crazy directions. Like, you could do a 51% attack. You buy enough to vote in a way where the show just starts getting crazy. You just have all the characters do a Jonestown massacre type thing, or even wilder scenarios than that. What do you think about NFT holders dictating shows' direction? Is that a fluke, or is this potentially a common occurrence maybe 5-10 years from now? Is this going to be something we see more of?
I don't think it's a good idea. I think that people don't actually know what they really want. I think a lot of viewers will watch shows like this and think they want the show to go a certain direction, but then they're going to vote on it. And it's not, there's a reason. Okay. There's a reason why viewers are not the ones writing the show, and the ones writing the show are writing the show. Let the creative people write the show. Let the people that had that initial vision and they had a dream for what the show could become, let them dictate where the show goes. If fans got to vote on things, let's go Star Wars. Fans would vote that Anakin never becomes Darth Vader. Well, then if Anakin never becomes Darth Vader, we don't have the greatest supervillain of all time in the media world. You don't want fans voting on this. Let the writers, let the creatives do whatever they want to do. That being said, we're talking about this show. We're talking about a show that hasn't even come out yet. And it's from the writer of I Do Like the Show Community. It's not one I watch over and over and over again. I have seen one episode of Rick and Morty, was not a fan. I told Tony tonight that I'm pretty sure you need a friend that's green to enjoy that show. And sure enough, he said that the reason he loved the show is because he used to sit with his friend. Anyway, we're going to keep moving on here. I'm not a Rick and Morty fan, but I appreciate that other people like it. I agree with what Taco said. If this was a Rick and Morty NFT, it's got such a fandom and a following. Those things will mean something for a long time. I'm trying to put in things that I would reflect on and would like. Think of The Office. Imagine if when The Office was coming out and is hitting its heyday, NFT started coming out of The Office characters. That would be epic. I really love sports. I told people in the office, even today, my entry into NFTs more than likely will be in the sport world. And because of that, it's because it's something I really love. It's something that even if I can't sell it for a profit, at least I bought something that I really enjoy having, and I just will never sell it. I'll just keep it to myself and own it. When it comes to this show, no one has ever seen this show. I think you're counting chickens before they hatch. Talk about raw chicken. We're not even talking about the crap chicken. We're talking about a chicken that hasn't been born yet. You're counting chickens before they hatch. We don't know if this show is going to be good. Just because he was the creator of a Community and of Rick and Morty doesn't mean this third one's going to be a home run. It could be the biggest flop in the world. And for that reason, I agree with Taco. It would be a massive, massive disservice to go buying these when they're minted. Maybe wait for a massive crash and say, you know what? Screw it. It's only worth 0.01 ETH. All right, I'll buy one just in case something special happens. But to buy them at mint, I think would be a massive mistake until we see any type of actual success on the show. And again, that first question, please, don't let fans vote on directions of shows. It will ruin whatever the show is. Let the creatives do their job.
All right, Office. I do like The Office. I would love to see IP. Very, very good choice. I bumped you up a couple points for that. Bears beats blockchain.
Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, you got it. You got it right there. All right. The Dwight. I'd get the rare Dwight. His cousin Mo.
Yes.
I would take the rare Robert California though. That might be my favorite one. Actually, I just want homeboy spilling the beans. That's what I want. That's what
Kevin.
I want. Kevin.
Kevin NFTs would kill it. Yeah.
I want Kevin spilling beans NFTs. I think that's really the ultimate one. And Ryan started the fire. God, there's so many good NFTs they could have made.
That's what I'm saying. Let's do it easy. After the show's over, we're starting a
all
new
right.
NFT.
Bootleg. We'll put on wax or something. All right. But that is all we have time for. Evan was going to steal it. Then Tim, he said Darth Vader was the best villain of all time. I had to give him a couple points for that. Then he said The Office. So he teleported 4 points off that, coming into first place. Tim, feel free. Leave us with some parting thoughts, please.
How about this, guys? It's been a minute since I have won, and for that reason, now DZ is one of my favorite humans in the entire world. Shout out to everybody who's here. Go follow all of them. Follow me at Investing Bros. Follow Evan, Aldo. Follow Taco. All great stuff. Other than that, guys, continue to learn, continue to grow. I've said this before. I'll say it again. If you're watching crypto content right now, you're a winner. You're going to win the next bull market. Keep going, even when it seems rough. Better days are ahead of us. See you guys next time.
Yeah, most shows fall off as soon as they stop listening to viewers. Adam Wild will always listen to you. That's all we got. Make sure you hit that like button. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, easy out.